Immigration and Customs Enforcement is now detaining a U.S. citizen. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C., as well as our new office in Chicago. Don't be alarmist, Jim. Don't be raising the flag. Don't be trying to scare people. Don't be bad-mouthing Donald Trump. Everything he does is great. Well, that's all we heard during the campaign for president, and Donald Trump and his Project 2025 buddies were promising to do all these horrible things that they're doing to immigrants. Let's take a look. We have a man from El Salvador who was ordered protected, who was granted what's called withholding of removal. Donald Trump and his minions at ICE deported that man on a plane in spite of a judge's order to turn that plane around, and they brought this man back to El Salvador even though he had legal protections in the United States and had been previously granted withholding of removal. The government is not following the law. Not only did they send that man back to El Salvador, then later on, when the judge inquired as to what was going on in a challenge brought by the ACLU, they said, oops, sorry, this was done by administrative error. But because he's no longer in our custody, he's in this El Salvadorian hellhole, a jail created by the president dictator of El Salvador. They said, well, we don't have authority over him, and you can't make him come back, and we can't make him come back. So he's just stuck there, even though we violated the law. We trampled his rights. We did not give him any due process before putting him on a plane back to El Salvador. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. But then it gets worse. This week we heard the story of a U.S. citizen born in Georgia who found himself driving through Florida. Now, Ron DeSantis and the Republicans in Florida passed an anti-immigrant law that basically allows Florida government officials, police departments, and sheriffs to arrest people that they suspect are immigrants. They hauled his butt into court. They put him in jail. And his mother showed up at court to demonstrate that he was a U.S. citizen. She had his birth certificate. A judge in Florida ruled that he was a U.S. citizen, ruled that his birth certificate was legitimate. Despite this, ICE told the judge and told Florida officials to detain him. They knew he was a U.S. citizen. They are now ignoring the law for U.S. citizens. This is reprehensible. This agency is out of control. Donald Trump is out of control. The courts need to step in, and people of goodwill need to stand up to this illegal power grab by Donald Trump and his supporters. If you think this can't happen to you, think again. Because if you aren't granted due process, if you don't have a method for challenging your detention in court, like this poor bastard down in Florida, what are you going to do? How are you going to challenge it? Let's say they deported you back to El Salvador. How would you prove that you didn't belong there? What if we deported a U.S. citizen to El Salvador or to Venezuela? What are you going to do? How are you going to challenge it if you don't have the right to due process, if you don't have the right to see a judge? It is absolutely reprehensible. The rule of law is faltering. Donald Trump and his people are the devils that we said they were. This is exactly what we told you was going to happen during the election. They are lawbreakers. They are power hungry, and they're not going to stop until we make them stop. What they're doing is illegal, and they should be hauled into court for contempt, and they should be ordered to return this man to the United States from El Salvador, and they should be required to release this man who's being held on an ICE detainer. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Things that I never thought I'd see, we're now seeing, and if they take away the rights of the most vulnerable, they're coming after you next. And you can call me alarmist, you can say that I'm over the top. I don't care anymore because I've been telling you this for a year and a half. As soon as Donald Trump said that he was coming back, we all knew that the Supreme Court had said that he can basically do whatever he wants. We also knew that he was bitter as hell for his criminal convictions, the convicted felon that he is, and nobody listened, and people voted for him. And now here we are. Well, it has to stop, and we're fighting back. If you need our help fighting USCIS, fighting the Department of Homeland Security, give us a call at 314-961-8200. Email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you just have questions, you can join our Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. People that call our office, that's for the purposes of hiring us. We don't do consultations. We don't review forms. The only reason you should call our office is because you want to hire us to be your attorneys on a new case or to take over a case that you already have on file. If you're looking to ask me questions, you can do that on our Immigration Answer Show. I do that 3 or 4 times a week. It's just a call-in show where you can call and ask me a question, and I'll do my best to answer it and teach everybody basic immigration concepts. And again, that's on our YouTube channel. Just look for the Immigration Answer Show. Finally, if you're not following us on TikTok, please consider giving us a follow on @ImmigrationHacking. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next video.